couple of investors coming out on stage. We've got Greg Castle of Anorak Ventures and Peter Rojas of Betaworks. They will be joining us to talk about early seed stage investing in AR and VR. Please welcome them. And once again, your moderator, Lucas Matney.
Back again. All right, well, so just out of curiosity, I know you've been asked a lot of questions and maybe you haven't answered it, even if it applies to you, but answer this one. If you're a founder or you're looking at starting an AR, VR company, you raise your hand? Okay, okay. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so come talk to me after. Yeah, so this is, I've chatted with a lot of people starting companies in the past, few months that have had a pretty tough time raising capital in 2018 that they may not have had, when the hype cycle was at its beginning. Like, you two are people who would probably be writing, some of these companies' first checks. So, like, where are your minds at in terms of the AR space and the VR space right now?
First of all, I want to apologize for that photo. It looks like I'm going to kill somebody. I need a new headshot. I think that, for me, I think originally we were talking, originally what was exciting to me was kind of the infrastructure for AR and VR. Knowing or believing that we were still several years out from these things reaching any interesting numbers in terms of the number of headsets out there, I think it was sensible for me as an investor, I think for a bunch of other investors, to start making bets on the infrastructure that was going to enable that to happen a bit down the road. Now I think there's been a fair bit of progress on the infrastructure. Now there are headsets that are starting to reach somewhat interesting numbers. Announcements like Quest, which I think is really going to be a game changer in terms of adoption and getting out there. And now I'm actually circling back around and being like, okay, now is a time where I'm starting to get comfortable with content again.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to look at AR and VR as two pretty distinct markets. I think in part because with AR, you do have mobile AR with the smartphone-based potential to distribute applications to the smartphone, which has a much larger addressable market than any headset, whether that's AR or VR. And so you try to segment the market in a way and look at them differently. We've made more investments in AR than we made in VR. We made one VR investment. We made 6 or 7 AR investments. But like Greg, I think you do tend to think of it as what are the enabling tools that you need to start with to facilitate a market, and then what are the experiences which people can build on top of that. I'm definitely at a place with both VR and AR where I do want to start to see some really breakout, amazing experiences being built, and I think we've seen a number of them on the VR side, and I think that as headset adoption grows, that a lot of them will be poised to start to make an impact on the market. I think on the consumer AR side, I think it's still pretty early, apart from like Pokemon Go, for example, and Snapchat lenses. There hasn't been a lot of consumer AR that I think has seen significant adoption. And I think that's in part because founders right now aren't taking enough risks with the experiences. They're not experimenting enough. They're not taking advantage of the fact that you have this spatial dimension to what you can do. And so I'm personally looking for products that are more adventurous, that are taking more risks, because I think that that's where you need to be experimenting and building if you want to find those emerging consumer behaviors that will drive adoption at scale.
I don't know about your personal habits with how you use smartphone AR, or if you use it, but it seems like the content there is very much lacking. But a lot of the companies are making assumptions that headsets will take off, or what we're going to do will easily translate to